I'm Victoria and welcome to Black Cat Crimes, where we talk about missing people. In this video, we're talking about the modern day nightmare that I think every parent faces when their kids are on the internet. The creepy old man who will prey on their children. 16-year-old Sophia Franklin has been missing for about a month now. It is believed she is with 40-year-old convicted child abuser Gary Day. It's likely that they were headed to Arkansas, but they haven't been seen or heard from since February 3rd, 2025. Sophia lives in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin with her parents Stephen and Lee Franklin. Gary Day is a resident of Cabot, Arkansas. In October 2019, an arrest warrant was issued for Gary after he brought a child to the Arkansas Children's Hospital with questionable injuries in September of 2019. I have to be honest, I don't know what kind of relationship Gary had to this child. It isn't noted anywhere exactly who he was to the child. Maybe I missed it when I was doing research, but I looked and couldn't find it. Gary claimed while bathing this baby in the sink that the baby's left leg got caught in the sink's drain. He claimed the baby's leg got injured when he was trying to get his leg unstuck, which, I'm not going to go off on too much of a tangent here because admittedly I don't have kids, but I have family members who are babies, who I have bathed as little itty bitty babies. And if you bathe them in the sink, they're usually in some sort of other tub, like one of those little bath chairs that the water flows through, or you literally put a plain tub in the sink so that there's something between the baby and the sink. But even if you put the baby directly in the sink, the stopper would be in the sink drain. So at what point did the baby's foot get stuck in the drain? That just doesn't make sense. Whether or not the leg injury is explainable, the real concern that medical professionals saw was bruising to the baby's face and ears that weren't explainable by its foot getting stuck in the drain. In May of 2020, Gary pleaded guilty to the charge of endangering the welfare of a minor and was given 6 years of probation. A condition of his probation was that he couldn't leave the state of Arkansas. He did violate his probation in 2023. Apparently, he stayed out after curfew, and that led his ankle monitor to go off, so he did have to go back to jail for a little while, but he ended up posting a bond of $5,000 that allowed his release again. In July of 2023, Gary was charged with domestic battery towards a 4-year-old relative. Allegedly, Gary freaked out, overreacted, and grabbed the child after all the child did was eat some toothpaste in the bathroom and climb on an entertainment center. The case was eventually dismissed and all charges dropped because prosecutors felt that they couldn't prove the case, but Gary was and still is on probation. It's reported by several people in Gary's life that he was widely known for having a quick temper and violent reactions. I'm not completely sure how, but Sophia and Gary met online in April of 2024, and a relationship between the two formed from there. And if any teenagers are watching, take it from someone who is 28 and at 18 and 19 was only interested in dating older men. Most older men are not interested in you for good reason. And it was made clear by Sophia that Gary absolutely knew her own age from the beginning. He knew from the get that she was 16 years old. But of course, Mr. Creepy Ass Gary didn't care. On July 29th, 2024, Gary came to Sophia's house to pick her up, and they left together to go to Arkansas. They arrived at his home on August 1st, 2024. Reportedly, Sophia's parents were under the impression she was in Beaver Dam still staying with a friend, because though they were in constant contact over the phone, they never actually saw each other in person for a while. It was in December of 2024 that it was finally discovered that Sophia had been living with Gary that entire time. One day in December, officers arrived at Gary's home to do a probation check, and as they arrived at the front of the house, they noticed someone run out the back of the house. They managed to catch this person and discover that it was Sophia. During interviews with police after she was discovered, Sophia said that she and Gary planned to get married. She also shared that they didn't have any sort of sexual contact before they got to Arkansas because they knew it was illegal in Wisconsin and Illinois. Now, the age of consent may be 16 in Arkansas, but super fun fact that I feel like everyone should know, especially older people who want to bring boys, girls, they, thems across every state line for the age of consent. If you take a minor from a state where it is illegal for you to have sexual contact with them because they're under the age of consent, you take them across the state line, That's illegal. That's literally a federal crime. You may not transport a minor across state lines for the sole purpose of avoiding age of consent laws in that state for sexual contact, because it's a federal crime. So it was never actually legal for Sophia and Gary to wait until they got to Arkansas to have any sort of sexual contact. Nothing they ever did was legal, because Sophia lived in Wisconsin. She's from Wisconsin. It's illegal there. It's still illegal when they go to Arkansas, because she was not of age and consent, and he specifically transported her across state lines to have sex with her. It was always a crime. I haven't seen anywhere that federal charges are being pursued against Gary, but I think they absolutely should be. Both in the instance of the 2024 incident and in this 2025 situation that brings us here today. During the time that Sophia and Gary were living together, Sophia did get pregnant. After Sophia was returned home to her parents in Beaver Dam, charges were pressed against Gary, and the no contact order was put in place to ensure that they wouldn't talk or see each other. I don't know if Gary tried to contact Sophia any time before January 26, 2025, but on that day, Gary did start contacting Sophia, sending her threatening messages where he was saying that he was going to take his own life because he couldn't be with her. And when I say that statement, for me, it gets me so worked up, because I myself had my very first boyfriend. I was 19, he was 27 when we broke up finally. So we started dating when I was 18 and he was 26. He absolutely, when he broke up with me, freaked out on me, called me all sorts of names. I refused to take him back after that. And his solution was to threaten to hurt himself and myself. Thankfully, he did it all over text message. So I actually had proof to give to the police, both to make sure that he got a 72-hour psych hold, to make sure that he was safe, because I was terrified he was going to hurt himself. And I had proof to say that he was harassing me and threatening to hurt me. Single most terrifying time of my life that I've ever had in a relationship. So when I hear that someone who is older and is doing this to someone who is younger than I was at the time, and I know the absolute terror and horror I felt at that time, because I truly thought he was going to hurt himself and that it wasn't just a manipulation tactic, it makes me livid. And I hate Gary so much for putting Sophia through that. That is absolutely disgusting. Early in the morning on February 3rd, 2025, Gary was seen outside Sophia's home. A security camera caught Gary walking around outside the home at 7:50 a.m. His 2014 black Buick LaCrosse was spotted by Sophia's sister a block away from the home with the engine still running. It is believed that shortly after Gary was seen outside of Sophia's home, he and Sophia left together. Gary's car was later seen on flock cameras traveling southbound on Highway 151 near Sun Prairie around 8:30 a.m. When Sophia's parents discovered she was gone, she was immediately reported missing. Because of the security footage that showed Gary at their home, an Amber Alert was issued for Sophia, with Gary listed as her suspected abductor on February 3rd. Within the next several days, Amber Alerts were issued in Missouri and Arkansas as well. It is believed that Gary has been switching license plates as they traveled. Those we know about are an Arkansas plate with the number BBR20L and a Pennsylvania plate with the number KGW518. There was also an Arizona plate that the number is not known on. And of course, there's a possibility that he's been using other license plates as well. It's been reported that it's likely they're heading to Arkansas, because that's where Gary has most of his contacts and people he knows. But to be fair, the United States is not hard to travel around in the car, so they could be going anywhere. On February 5th, Gary was charged with 2 counts of child abduction and 2 counts of child enticement. Sophia's parents miss her terribly and want nothing more than their daughter to come home. In a statement posted to a Facebook page, they had this to say: "Sophia's been gone for a week. We don't know what to do other than wait and pray. It's a torment. Her absence is felt every moment. There is so much on the horizon for you, Sophie. Hard things, yes, but good things too. And your family is here for you for all of it. We aren't going anywhere. We just need you to come back. Your value isn't found in how much money you make, how hard you work, or even the affirmation of others. Sophie, you are a soul made by God, fully known by God, and entirely loved by God. You are a gift to us. Gary Day is described as a white man who stands at 5'7" and is about 185 pounds. He has green eyes and thinning blonde hair. Sophia is described as being 5'9" and weighing approximately 180 pounds. She has brown hair and blue eyes, and she often wears glasses. Her mom also shared that when Sophia chews, one of her eyes moves involuntarily. She has also been wearing a rose gold ring with a pink heart-shaped gem on her left hand. Sophia was 3 months pregnant at the time that she went missing, which means she's now 4 months pregnant. At the time they disappeared, Sophia wasn't showing yet, but now that she's 4 months, she may be starting to show in the very early stages. It might not be very noticeable. The 1 in 5 Foundation for Kids have launched a multi-state independent search for Sophia in an effort to help bring her home. In support of that, they're also offering a $5,000 reward for anyone with information that could bring Sophia home. If you have any information about the possible whereabouts of Gary and Sophia, or if you know any information that could help, please call the Beaver Dam Police Department at 920-887-4612 or the Amber Alert tip line at 888-304-3936. And if you're out one day and you believe you see them somewhere, don't approach them, but call 911. I think what worries me the most about Sophia's situation are two things. The first is that it's probably very hard for Sophia to get any sort of medical care during this time because there are Amber Alerts out for them and medical staff are mandated reporters. They would have to report Sophia if they came in for any sort of medical attention. Before she went missing, Sophia had been experiencing morning sickness and had had a pretty bad outbreak of hives. Her parents are worried that she won't be able to get the medical care necessary, and I have to say I very much fear the same. The other worry I have is regarding Gary's bad temper. What's been reported paired with his threats of harming himself when he and Sophia couldn't be together are terrifying, honestly. I don't want to borrow too much worry or speculate too deeply, but I fear his history of volatility could mean that he hurt himself and Sophia to avoid capture. There are a lot of possibilities, and this is a hugely difficult situation that honestly both of them find themselves in. I just very much hope that Sophia is found soon and brought home safely. That's all I have for you in this missing persons profile. So thank you so much for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!